All right, I want to get to a question from one of our Patreon highest level supporters here. This is William Morris asking, what's the most embarrassing moment of your life? Respect, Theo. Love the show. The most embarrassing moment of my life? When I was in grade school, they had this thing called campus life. And it was where kids would go spend time, and it was religious based, but it was just like a fun night for kids to go do things together, like on a Wednesday night. So in junior high, it gave you a place to meet up, and you would do some like fun games, and just a place to see kids at night because you were just used to seeing them during the daytime. So we went into the campus life meeting one night, and they had me and a pretty girl. We were playing a game, and the game was to eat 3 bananas, and you had to be blindfolded while you was eating the bananas. So eating bananas in the dark. And I've never been a gay man, or I've never been a blind monkey. But I can imagine that both of those types of people have had similar experiences to this. And so they blindfolded you, and they blindfolded me, and they blindfolded the young lady. And I was like nervous because I didn't really do a lot of stuff with pretty girls. So even just being close to this pretty girl, it was like, everybody was looking at me and her in the same time. And I was just like, oh. And I think I was only in 7th grade, and some of the other kids were in 8th and 9th grade. So, there was those levels of nerves as well, the older kids, and, they know more and they're smarter and cooler and blah, blah. Well, they blindfold us, and we have to eat the bananas as fast as we can. So I start eating. And I've always enjoyed fruits. My whole life, when I think back on my life, I've always really enjoyed a good fruit. I used to enjoy watching my brother eat oranges. My brother used to eat a lot of oranges. He'd get him a little sack of oranges and just eat them sometimes, and I would enjoy just even watching him eat them because we didn't do a lot of things together as a family that were peaceful. Most of the times we would fight. So I found a lot of joy just watching my brother, tap into them vitamin C balls. Well, so here I am, I'm gumming down these bananas, and I get through all 3. I swallow, people are cheering and laughing and everybody, and I take off my blindfold, and everybody else was gone. Everybody else wasn't playing the game. That's what I mean. The girl wasn't playing the game, the pretty girl. She was, the second we started, they kind of tapped her on the shoulder and quietly told her to just go back over with everybody else who was watching. So I had been eating 3 bananas in front of everybody, all my peers, by myself as fast as I could. And I had acne, and I had, suddenly all the things that were wrong with me were the only things that I could think about. I just felt, I had acne, and I had big ears, and everything was wrong with me. My pants were too tight, and they tapered at the bottoms and looked kind of maybe like a women's pants. And I just felt horrible. I played it off that it was funny. The joke was just that, I don't even know what the joke was. The joke was that, everybody got to watch me eat bananas and that I was okay. It was just silly. And it was. Nobody else thought anything of it. But man, I was already so insecure, and I guess I just felt even more insecure. And that was probably the most embarrassing moment of my life, that I remember as a child. I'm sure there were more, but that was one that really just grew out of my balls like a damn, just like a damn white hair. I remember when I was young, the first hair I ever got that grew out of my ball bag was white. And I remember just being so nervous, and my daddy was so old. My daddy was, 83 or 82 when I got some hair on my balls. So I just figured it was the end of his genetics, or the, whatever his genetics, it was a little bit of that had kind of, dribbled down into my ball bag. And I was just so, that's how I felt, I guess. I felt like this lone white hair. And I felt like a lone white ball hair just full of potassium.